Hello everyone! In this video we're going to talk about the analysis of different elements of the poem Narrative Alley written by Elizabeth Alexander. First we're going to mention a little bit of historical context that is pointed out throughout this poem, so it is better understood. The poem is a tribute to Muhammad Ali, an American black boxer and later in his life a social activist for the black movement who was born in 1942 in Kentucky. He was raised as a Baptist, and after that he converted to the Islam religion. Since he is from an all-black family, he suffered from discrimination throughout his life, due to the situation in America between white and black people. Sanjay Rice is also mentioned in this poem. She was his first wife, but they got divorced because of Ali's devotion to Islam. During his life, he had 4 wives and a total of 9 children, who were his reason to fight against the social situation of the moment. He trained a lot during his life as a teenager and a young adult, being really disciplined and sometimes boarding to extreme training. He fought since the age of 12 and he won a total of 56 matches of the 61 that he played in his life. He even won 3 times the World Heavyweight Boxing Championship. The Great White Hope is also mentioned in this poem. This is a place based in the life of Jack Jefferson, a black boxer who was being attacked by several white Americans due to his titles and his skin color. This place is mentioned because Muhammad Ali suffered from a similar situation as this character in the play. Muhammad Ali refused to go to the US Army because of his religion, which made him lose one of his titles, go to prison, and he had to pay a lot of money. When talking about his social political status, he was considered a public enemy number 1 in the eyes of many white Americans because he fought against the discrimination problems that were faced in the 20th century.
Now we're talking about a little bit of context. Muhammad Ali represented an important symbol for all black people. The author uses her poem to address social critique about the segregation that happened back in that day. In some points, the author assumes Ali's voice to talk about how was to live inside his mind and the reality that he lived. Elizabeth provides context of the 20th century Black American life and pointed how Ali was a hero for so many people. Ali was not only one of the greatest athletes, he meant so much inside and outside the boxing ring. In some parts of the poem, Elizabeth mentioned some names that are very important in Ali's history. The first name is Emmett Till. He was an Afro-American teenager that was killed in Mississippi at the age of 14. Police assumed that he was flirting with a white woman. His body was found mutilated on Tallahatchie River. Muhammad Ali was shocked and took the sad news very personally, especially because they both were the same age. He pointed how sad was to see Emmett Till smiling one day and shot in the head the next. The next name is Jerry Quarry, a professional boxer from the United States. He fought against Ali 2 times, where he was defeated by technical knockouts. Next, it was Benny Kid Paret. Is mentioned also a professional Cuban boxer. His career finished in a tragic way, in a fight against Emily Griffith. He received very serious hits on his head, causing his death days after. In the poem, Talking with Ali's Voice, he mentioned that he was worried to end like Kid Paret. The last name is Joe Frazier, a gold medalist who fought various times against Ali. In the poem, Ali has a conversation with his opponent, telling him to get a good life. Thank you.
The content of the poem includes instances where Muhammad Ali faces fear and rejection. There are 2 cases of brutal racism shown in the poem. One is the lynching of Emmett Till, a black boy of the same age as Ali. The other one occurs in round 7, where Ali encounters a man who was castrated, victim of the Ku Klux Klan. These stories serve as a warning for Ali, as he's shown what kind of hate he might be subject to just for being black. Throughout the poem, Ali shows an increasing sense of duty and conviction for what he does. In round 3, he's seen training in distraction around people, but in round 8, he's fully committed to an intense routine and a strict diet. Round 4 tells that Muhammad Ali wins the Olympic gold medal, but he is still segregated from some restaurants in his hometown Louisville. Disappointed, he throws the ribbon to the river. This gesture symbolizes that he wants to be more than just a great boxer. At first, Muhammad Ali is surrounded by people who see his triumphs as a tragedy, as his white opponents are called the Great White Hope. But then he encounters the people who love him in a travel to Africa. When he refuses to serve in the military, he is despised, insulted, and incarcerated. But he reacts to the situation with a defiant command take. In short, the poem shows the fear and rejection Muhammad Ali faced in becoming the legend of boxing, peace, and rights activism he is considered now.
Well, now, talking about the form of the poem, we can analyze and define as the first point the tone adjusts, because it contains several reading parts that resemble a song and it's also sentimental and proud at the same time. Starting from this, the poem is based on rhetorical devices that we're going to mention forward. It has a traditional African American expressions like the music term hip hop. Regarding the length of the poem, it is divided in 12 stanzas that, in honor of the rounds in a boxing match, is the number used. There's not a clear rhyme, but in some cases appear as structures of ABA, but it's not with a particular purpose. Another point is that also there's not a defined number of verses. In each stanza, it's an aleatory number. Alexander used a range of literary devices to convey Ali's personality. Employs vivid imagery, such as hands like roping hooks or tongue like hunting knife, to create a sense of Ali's power and intensity. She also used repetition and alliteration to give the poem a rhythmic quality, mimicking the rhythm of Ali's punches. And, as I mentioned before, she incorporates elements of African American expressions such as the use of y'all and the phrase ain't to know.
The poem also comprises three important parts, and each section focuses on a distinct phase of Ali's life. The central theme of the poem is the celebration of Ali's accomplishments both as a boxer and as an activist. The poem's first section paints a vivid picture of Ali's boxing career. The use of sensory details such as a blur of white gloves and a thrilling ropes adds a visual and auditory dimension to the poem. Also, the speaker used metaphors such as dancing with the invisible to convey Ali's progress in the ring. The second section of the poem shifts focus to Ali's political activism, religious conversation, and public persona. The use of repetition in phrases like I am the greatest, I am Ali, reinforces Ali's confidence and self-assurance. So the final section of the poem portrays Ali's battle with the Parkinson disease, which impacts his physical and cognitive abilities. The use of alliteration in phrases like one's rippling muscles and a hard way to life adds a rhythmic quality to the poem while also conveying the physical toll that the disease took on Ali. In conclusion, narrative Ali is a powerful tribute to Muhammad Ali, lives and legacy.